Hello everyone, this is Harieth Velasco, and before I proceed with the review of Arcane Act 2, which features episode 4, 5, and 6, just a couple of public service announcement. So leave a like on this video, comment on your thoughts on this act, and also subscribe. Also, my goal before the end of the year is to reach 4,000 watch hours on my channel so I can apply for monetization. So your interaction will be pretty much appreciated and would help the community grow. Now, without further ado, I just finished watching Act 2 of Arcane, and it's kind of depressing actually. Yeah, it's kind of depressing. So let's go with it on episode 4, which is the progress day of Piltover. So, what does it mean for progress day? It's a natural progression of the technology of Piltover. We all know the hex tech has been established in Act 1, and now it has made Piltover like the New York City, the bustling trade center of the Runeterra world. And that is a good thing. This is more of a story of the rise of Jayce to be on the verge of being a counselor of Piltover. This is also going to be establishing how bad of a douche Heimerdinger is, or how old of a boomer Heimerdinger is. And we get to see Jinx for the first time. Now, I'm not gonna refer to her as Powder on this act because she is now full-fledged Jinx, even though she is getting some flashbacks on her past. This starts off with an assault by the Firelights. Well, the Firelights are masked men that kind of wear jeans mask or something, and they're marksmen, and they kind of intercepted a cargo ship and was intercepted by themselves by Jinx herself. This is her debut, and boy, she made a banger of a debut. This caused Civitka to be like under wraps by Silco. It's also established there is corruption in the politics of Piltover. Specifically, the old time cliche of an evil politician being connected to the law enforcement. In this case, Marcus, who is the sheriff of Piltover, and Silco. Now, after this attack on Progress Day, was it Progress Day? No. After this random attack, there is this moment where Silco scolds Jinx for being like jinxing this whole operation, but Jinx wants to make up for it, and this will in turn led to a terror attack on the Progress Day itself. It is established Jayce and Victor developed the Hex Tech to improve the lives they and weaponize Hex Tech. We've seen a preview of Vice Gauntlets, and it could be, I never saw the other weapon very clearly, but I assume it is Jayce's hammer. The Mercurial hammer. Okay? So, Jayce delivered his speech. He kinda skipped most part of it and just went to the shortcut. We assure you that we will be making progress, but this is not the right time because he got influenced by Heimerdinger. And this is going to be on an arc of Jayce having conflict of interest. Whether he will believe on the principle of Heimerdinger or to his own being his own man. Another part of this is Jinx is struggling on her past life, it seems, and that is kind of going to be a theme going into episode 5 of this act. So, episode 4 is more of an establishment episode of what this act will further on develop. In the end, We see Caitlyn investigating on herself, on her own terms, on her own grounds, without the supervisory of the enforcers. Because remember, Marcus is a corrupt enforcer, and he's trying to get this thing under wrap from the counselors. And that's where Caitlyn is investigating. She got the clues. She ultimately tracked down to this so-called Jinx that has been terrorizing Piltover during Progress Day. Where did it lead to? Well, she got injured during the bombing, but that gave her time to have the time off and further investigate the case. And she went into Stillwater Prison where she wants to interrogate that one prisoner that was caught during the initial attack of this episode. And it was found out that Vi shut that prisoner up, and that's where she got the lead to talk to Vi instead. Now with episode 5 is where Jayce becomes the counselor of Piltover through the endorsement of Mel, who I thought was Senna in the beginning. And things are really getting kinky between Senna and Jayce. They had sex in this episode. Yeah. Sex. Whew. Also established in this episode is the past backstory of Caitlyn, how she became a good shot or an excellent shot. And this was remark. This is an Easter egg on a remark that Vi gave Caitlyn when they were venturing into the Undercity to get some leads. That Vi said Caitlyn is an alright shot, and Caitlyn said she's an excellent shot. The reason why Vi told Caitlyn is an alright shot because she knows Jinx, her little sister, is a good marksman. I think that's the connection I'm going for. It's a bit of a stretch, but yeah. That's the connection I'm aiming for. Now, what else are we going to discuss on this episode? So, Caitlyn freed Vi from prison because Jayce is the counselor. Caitlyn and Jayce are close, and they managed to pull some strings. Vi is out of prison. Vi and Caitlyn venture the Undercity to get some leads over Silco. Vi encounters Savitka, knocks her out, but Savitka retaliated with Chemtech, and then Caitlyn shot Savitka's potion up her arm. From there, via stab, they went underneath the Undercity, underneath the walls, and Caitlyn managed to try to find some cure on Vi. And then the Jinx arc here is Jinx moving on from her past life. She got the baptism by Chemical River by Silco. And one thing to note here in this episode is Victor is dying. I think we all saw that a mile away, Victor is dying. And I think the resolution is going to be hinted at the next episode. Okay, so episode 6 is literally the conclusion of this act 2. It's kind of depressing. Everything is sad. Vi got stabbed. Now Caitlyn sold her weapon in exchange for a potion by an apothecary. But Caitlyn lost her weapon. Overall, this episode was really sad. Then Heimerdinger got booted out, I think, by the council because Jayce thinks he's a boomer and he lives in the past. Well, the vision of Piltover has to progress through the future. Another thing to note is now that the thing that Heimerdinger is trying to prevent is the weaponization of Hex Tech. And I think I said Hexcore on my previous review. Now Hexcore is really established here. It saw that it interacts with organic objects, and it could be the solution to Victor's condition. We also see a glimpse of Victor's past where it is revealed that Victor and Singe are previously teacher and student relationship before Heimerdinger. It was then revealed that Singe experimented with Victor's pet. That's why Victor left Singe. But since Heimerdinger did not endorse the way of Hexcore being the cure, Victor sought out Singe to be the other scientist that he hinted to get the heck to make him be stable. And I think this is going to be a lead up to the Victor we all knew in League of Legends. I think the suit, the robotic Victor, is a life sustaining suit. He's gonna be infused with Chemtech instead of Hextech, and it's gonna be the Descent of Matters of Victor. So another depressing thing on this act. Furthermore, now that that Vi got cured of her stab wounds, they try to go topside now, and they met with Silco. Silco got the information about Vi's existence from Savitka, who survived the attack, but then was tortured by Jinx in a previous scene. So Silco confronted Vi. Vi toppled the tower, the walls over the under city, like I said, and Caitlyn and Vi jumped to escape. We also saw a glimpse of Marcus assembling the enforcers. I think they are ready to eliminate Caitlyn into the equation, as Marcus have found out through Silco's information that he got from Savitka that Caitlyn is the enforcer aiding Vi. And now with the instruction to eliminate Caitlyn, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to eliminate Caitlyn by the next act, Act 3. So, yeah. It's pretty much depressing. The end episode is Vi and Jinx meeting up for the first time in years. Remember, this act is a time skip from Act 1. So, everyone is older now. And that's why Victor's disease has degenerated him further. And the last battle here is against the Firelights. And the Firelights taking away Vi. I think they also took away Caitlyn. But before they took away Vi and Caitlyn, I don't know. I don't know if they took Caitlyn as well. But I know they took Vi, and that was the last shot that Jinx saw. And then the episode ends. Jinx saw some prowess in her skills. Vi is shocked about this because Jinx is now very strong. She did hand-to-hand combat now. And yeah, I think this episode, Act 2, is the depressing arc. It has to be depressing because the happy days that are going to happen are on Act 3, the resolution. So this act is really sad. And it nailed the story pretty well, but there's a little bit of an issue with this. There's some character that is missing. Okay, so if you say that there's some character missing, who is it? Well, it's not other than Echo himself. And I read this article from One Esports, every clue hinting at the Firelight Leader's true identity. You see, the Firelight Leader spoke during this episode, and which means he has to be credited at the end, right? So at the end credits, Echo's voice actor Reed Shannon was credited in Arcane Act 2 episode 4 and 6. So, the Firelight could be led by Echo. And that would be the big reveal, I think, on Act 3. Who is the Firelight Leader? Kind of expecting it was Jinx, but I guess Echo makes sense. So yeah. Overall, this act is worth the wait. It is depressing, I'm saying that, but I think that is like the tone of this act. It was depressing in the end of Act 1, even though it was more up and energetic in its beginning, and it has to be continuously on that same manifestation in the second act. Because in the third act, everything will blow up, everything will be resolved. Kinda. So, yeah. This episode, this Act 2 of Arcane, is something that wants you to ask for more. I think that is the best thing that I can give for this episode. That is the best take I can give to this act. So yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye and good night. Bang!